Welcome back to Domestic Friday. I am your host, Phenomenal Mindy, and we shine a light on some truth today. Now, behind the headlines, we're going to give a voice to a story that kind of hit home for everyone, I'm pretty sure. The space that we are going to talk about is in the headlines, and we definitely talk about everything, and it's not excluding people who are quote unquote famous. The space that we're talking about is going to be healing eventually after we get done with the episode. But we're going to walk through the rise and the fall of the Houston designer, Isaac Moore, a man who is a celebrity luxury brand. He's now facing public scrutiny and serious allegation for abuse, excuse me. And we're going to say allegedly. Now, today we're turning the mic towards the woman who spoke up in the internet and amplifies the story and the bigger truth about believing survivors in this day and age because we all know how that goes. But before we dive in, let's give a quick note to this episode, including the discussion of domestic violence and alleged physical abuse. So, listener discretion is advised. Okay. Now, I'm gonna take the gloves off with this one because again, this one kind of hit home for me, and it's kind of something that people don't like to talk about with people being a brand. But before we get started and talk about the allegations of Isaac Moore in luxury fashion, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna paint the story for you, and I'm gonna give you information about him and who he is. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of knew who he was, but a lot of people don't know who he is. So I'm gonna kind of give some introduction of who he really is. So this picture can be painted and you not forget anything. Grab your popcorn, grab your drink, or whatever you need to do, because we're gonna talk about this right here. But if you follow Houston creative scene, the name is Isaiah Moore, probably rings a bell. Now he's the designer behind the Isaac Moore and luxury fashion brand that came out of Houston Third Ward and promised to bring black luxury to the global stage. He toured with a lot of people with this thing called the box experience. Now, gifting his designer pieces to influencers and celebrities, everyone from rappers and NBA players. These are some of the people that, he worked with. But at first glance, it looked like a success story, but it's not all what it seems out to be. And then the light simply fades from him. Now, he first came out during the time of 2022, and he had this box experience, and he worked with a lot of celebrities. So before I name the celebrities that he worked with, first I'm gonna tell you about the story that really kind of diminished his life, and this happened in 2002. Now his name, a lot of people are getting confused and mistaken on who he really is. Isaiah Dante Moore, who goes by Isaac Moore, he was arrested for from allegations of an investor by the name of Jody Lewis. She filed a police report back in 2022, according to the Brittany Taylor person and the Mariah Moore, who actually did an investigation on this, actually who worked with this very closely. And this was in the Harrison County court. Document shows that Lewis first discussed investigating in Moore's company during March 2002 meeting in Florida. During the meeting, Lewis allegedly discussed potential investing in Moore's company, Isaac and Moore, which is known for the quote unquote designing box experience, personalized to specific celebrities like Usher, DJ Khaled, Megan Thee Stallion, just to name a few. Lewis entered a contract with Moore to invest $20,000 in the launch of the new Space City collection within a week of their initial marching meeting. According to Taylor and Ballard, authorities state in the court document that Lewis investigating was clouded for buying materials to make the feature items in the new collection and for distributing items for the collection launch. Now, Lewis' contract with Moore also stated that Lewis would get $255 for each bag sold from the collection, totaling $45,000 upon sale of the collection entire inventory. Taylor and Ballard reported that Moore rescheduled the launch date for the collection from March 29, 2022 to July 2022. Then again, it changed from July to December the 18th, 2022. And then it changed once more in February the 5th, 2023. The lunch event never happened, and Moore eventually stopped returning calls, according to Taylor and Lewis. Authorities alleged in court documents that Moore used similar tactics to defraud several from across the United States, with more than just 17 having filed familiar cases against Moore so far that has been reported. Moore was arrested in Harrison County for allegedly defrauding investors for over $600,000. I'm sorry. Now, I know by now you kind of raising your eyebrow, and if you haven't, even the dates would have raised some eyebrows for me. I'm just really being honest with this situation. But this just to paint a picture of who he really is. I'm familiar when this story first launched about the box experience, which I thought is a great idea for Black excellence. But some people um like to do fraud on top of fraud. And we'll get later to that in the story. But now let's get into the allegations. Let's get into the allegations, what we're really here for. Now, in the recent days, social media began to circle videos, reels, and statements from a woman who says she was in a relationship with Isaac Moore. In these videos, she described being physical and emotional abuse, showing visible injuries, and sharing personal message she claims come from him. Now, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna show you the pictures of her all bruised up and everything. She showed it on her social media, and that's fine. You know, that's what she chose to do. But I'm not on my platform. I'm not gonna do that in particular, simply because I don't want to have such a picture of her stuck on my platform. That's just me being honest with you. I'm really being real. But I am going to show you the video of the things that she had to say. But before I show you the video, I'm going to read to you a little bit more and tell you. The post quickly went viral, reposting across TikTok is where I know I first saw it, and then I also saw it on Instagram as well. At the time of the recording, there's been no official criminal charges have been confirmed by major outlet regarding the abuse allegations. But the social media controversy has been loud, emotional, and divided. Many fans say, we need proof. We need to wait for proof. Others say, we've seen enough that this platform has given us a familiar things that has happened. Now, I'm going to really be honest and be transparent, because that's what this podcast is all about. A lot of people want to jump on the abuser side quickly because this person is such a high profile celebrity, quote unquote, allegedly. But the story here is it gets deeper, because some people keep saying this isn't Isaac Moore's and this hasn't how I seen him. But if we can recollect and go back to the things that happened back then, we really understand that shit. We know we don't, and a lot of times I need y'all to understand. You don't need proof on every single thing. You got five senses. You have an intuition in your gut, and you know what's going on. Don't sit up here and act like, oh, this is such a celebrity, because we know a lot of people that's out here that we didn't think, and when I say we, I mean us as a whole. We didn't think that from R. Kelly to Bill Cosby to all of these public figures, we didn't think that they would get to that point that they are. We know about it. You know what I'm saying? Again, when I say we, I mean us as a whole. But now, when the video dropped, you could feel the rawness, and I'm gonna play the video for you. It's about 4 minutes long. There's no legal talk in the video, just pain and truth. The woman at the center of this allegation didn't post for clout. She posts simply to be heard. And I'm so proud of the Black community within all of us standing together. Now, don't get me wrong, there's been some people who are asking for proof, and there also been some people who giving out accolades for coming forward, because this is not an easy thing to do. I like to call it the pie in the face person. When those people stand in front, you are the pie in the face. Everybody's looking around you, everybody's got something to say, everybody's got a finger point towards you. So nobody wants to be the pie in the face, but it takes bravery to do that. Now, while the internet can be very, very messy, I just, again, respect at this time that she came forward and she spoke her piece. Now, for once on social media, it wasn't just, about the likes. It wasn't about the views. It wasn't about reposting, you know? So when these new allegations comes, we need to be more proactive on what we're really looking at. But many people, they started to question what else might be happening behind the brand glossy image. Then comes the reaction. Some people say that this here is for her clout, but she don't even need any clout. I'm gonna really be honest with you. If you've been following her, and I am gonna put her TikTok information in there. She has been a content creator for a while. So, and I'm gonna say something else, but before I say this, because I don't want to get ahead of myself, I'm gonna show you pictures of her and him together, just to show you who she really are. She really is a beautiful woman, and I just hate things plague within the Black community, and a lot of us, when they feel like they get a little bit of fame, they feel like they have power, and I mean power, kind of like the Shango energy, and kind of want to take over everything. But nevertheless, they were a beautiful couple. They were in a relationship for 12 months, and again, I'm gonna go ahead and play this video because I feel like I want to drop all the nuggets in the beginning of the video, and I know that's not where I need to be, and this here is very, very strange. Let me hold on, let me grab it. And I'm gonna really be honest with you. When I saw this story, and I'm gonna share this, and I'm not gonna definitely not gonna talk about people that's not in this story. But when I first saw this, I was reminded about a couple of months ago. One of my associate, who's no longer my associate anymore, um, was actually brutally attacked, but she never came forward. But she was a sister, and when I say sister, I mean on the for us is on the spiritual journey to together in the same community. And she explained, the stuff that happened to us word for word, but she never would say the guy name in particularly. But she did explain to us that he was a high profile celebrity. He was in Houston, and a lot of us began to do a lot of our investigation, and we knew who it was, but we it wasn't our story to tell at that particular time. I don't know the whole story behind, what really happened to her. I'm not discrediting her story. I definitely believe her, but I definitely also believe that she hid a lot of stuff that she didn't want us to know. And we were kind of shocked, being again as a person who she was in the spiritual community. We was just so shocked by the things that she had said to us, and she had contributed well. So she planned to come forward again with her. I'm not in close proximity anymore, and I hope that this story gets out and it sheds a light for her to come forward and say what needs to be said, because you never know how you're going to help someone else. But this is not something we need to take off. But we know talk about it, because we are not being we are being like this. We are the world is rich. There is just a lot of people violence, even in personally, that feel hurt. It's one thing, and it's not recognition, and they don't hear about it, and what they call it, stuff, and say, well, oh, you didn't do this and do that. Hell, I commend her for coming forward and being the voice. And as you heard her say, there are a lot of people that was coming to her in her inbox telling her different things. Oh, he did this, even the child's mother she knew nothing about. So all it takes is just that one person to come forward and shed a light on their story. And if you're out there watching, her name is Sarah. Sarah is on TikTok. It's Sarah, and it should be a slash, this up and down, not this way, but it's Sarah slash content creator. And you can look her up on TikTok, and you'll be able to see more of the videos of the pictures that she posted of him and her, and more of the bruising. And it's viewer discretion is advised. I'm gonna just say this. But luxury does not erase violence. Success does not excuse you. And social media perfection often hides the real scars behind the scenes. If these allegations are true, they serve as a reminder that accountability doesn't stop at influence of luxury, it starts with integrity. Now, as I begin to write this story and pull this story together, it began to touch me because, again, one of my colleagues, same guy that she was fooling with. And you don't have to be poor. You don't have to be in a certain neighborhood to be in a domestic violence situation. We talked about in earlier episodes about the money and the power and the control. But I'm also gonna share with you some things that she put up on social media as well. And we're gonna look at it together. This is, I'm assuming these were cash apps that she sent to him. and he was asking for money. And this how I know, y'all. This is how I know. The same person that my colleague was talking about. This is the exact same tactic that this guy was using. And I'm not understanding, because even she was telling us a story, quote unquote, he was a celebrity. I was wondering, why do I need to send you funds? Why? I don't need to pay you to beat me. Why? And like I said, it's crazy because we didn't know, quote unquote, exactly. And I'm gonna keep saying quote unquote here, because that's my allegedly in the sky, quote unquote, that's my allegedly in the sky. But nevertheless, influence is versus accountability. Which one are we gonna uphold? Isaac Moore brand was built on an image, success, luxury, and exclusive. But image doesn't protect that. We've seen both celebrities and influencers, even community leaders, who protect or they project excellence while hiding abuse. And too often, society protects the brand instead of the victim. The question is, when someone is admired, when someone that we admire is accused, I don't know why my tongue want to get tired. When someone we admire is accused, what do you want from the information? What do you do with the information? Do you unfollow or do you wait for the court papers? Again, when it's someone that you admire that's being accused, what do you do? Do you put yourself in those shoes and say, what if, and have a heart for humanity? Do you unfollow? Do you wait for court papers? Do you speak up or do you stay silent because it's uncomfortable? Woo! I'm telling y'all, when I wrote this, I really was like, man, Gemini, 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 Gemini. I mean, I couldn't believe myself. I shocked my own self when I wrote this down. And I said, Mindy, make sure you stay on topic with this one, because I need to reach the people that's in the older generation, because this is where a lot of this really sticks. And I love talking to my elderly people. I really love talking to my elderly people, simply because they some wonderful human beings, but some of them are stubborn. They really are. They are. That's just the way they are, type of people. But I'm gonna ask this for the last time, because I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. I need to ask again. I need to ask this again. When someone you admire is accused, what do you do with the information? Do you unfollow or do you wait for the court papers? Do you speak up or do you stay in silence because it's uncomfortable? Which one is it? Now, accountability doesn't mean automatic guilty. It means taking claims seriously, no matter who you are. It needs to be taken very seriously. We need a statement. We need a lie. We need a story time. We do. But here's the beauty in the chaos. When survivors speak up, and the public listens, something shifts. Something shifts in all types of angle. I'm gonna really be honest with you. It just shifts all kinds of ways. But awareness, we need to keep that on the rise. Conversations we need to start having, even if they're uncomfortable. Other victims find strength in saying, "Me too." Like looking at the video, like, it happened to you, it happened to me too. You know. But in this case, whether you believe the accuser or not, one thing is clear: violence, manipulation, and emotional harm can happen anywhere, even in luxury spaces, even from people's social celebrities. And every time a victim shares their truth, the stigma breaks a little bit more. Again, I am going to commend the community for standing up. I'm going to commend standing up and being supportive with this young lady, because we all know that they can tear you apart. Boy, it's not an easy thing to get on these different platforms and speak about certain topics. It's not easy at all. I'm not even I'm not even gonna front, because if you get caught up in reading those dang on comments, man, you'll be there forever reading comments, simply because we trying to figure out what's going on, and before you know it, you done fell down a rabbit hole you wasn't even supposed to be in. I'm just keeping it real, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. If you've been in a relationship where you felt trapped, unsafe, or even unheard, please know that you're not alone. In the U.S., you can call 1-800-799-SAFE, or you can text START to 88788 to reach the National Domestic Violence Hotline that's 24/7 free and confidential. They can help you find a shelter, counseling, or just someone who really truly understands. They are here for you no matter what you calling in for, no matter what you want to talk about. And I want to do the same. You can call me on my podcast number. You can text me on my podcast number, 901-501-5456. Again, I do not have the resources to apprehend a fool. Okay? I'm simply here to be the ear. I'm simply here to give you the guidance to help you lead. I'm simply here to give you the resource to help you lead. And be a friend, just to have that shoulder to lean on and know that somebody is there for you. Now, this month it absolutely is Domestic Violence Month. And I don't think a lot of people know, because it's not even talked about within all of the communities. And we need to note that October is Domestic Violence Month. Now, healing is not about revenge. I know sometimes you want to be like my dear said, go get them, girl. We don't want to do that. It's about reclaiming your peace. And every story is a step towards that peace. That is it for today in the episode of Domestic Friday. I'm Phenomenal Mindy, reminding you that your story, it really, truly, truly, truly matters. Your voice is your power. Thank you for listening. And as always, protect your peace, protect your truth, and never be afraid to speak out. It don't even matter if it's Lil Ray Ray or Uncle Joe. Speak out on that, fool. Do you hear me? All the way from Memphis, and keeping it real, man. See you on the next episode of Domestic Friday. Bye for now, y'all. See y'all later. Bye.